Good evening. My name is Michael Onufrak. I graduated with an associate degree in 1996. So I guess I'm kind of an old-timer compared to most of you. I apologize for being late tonight because when I went to school, the lab wasn't here, and I went over to the old lab, and there was nothing there. But, so I was on my way to Stratham, and I just happened to look up, and I saw the New Hampshire Technical College. So this is the first time I've been here. And I used to work here on the base, the old Pease Air Force Base. But I haven't been here in 3 or 4 years, and it's changed quite a bit. I work in Boston for a biotech company. Like I said, I used to work here for about 6 years. I was caught up in a layoff. In 2002, there was a layoff, and about 75 of us lost our job, which is not too uncommon in this industry, unfortunately. Perhaps you've heard of a company called BioPure, which is in Cambridge. They, in the last year or two, have laid off about 200 to 300 people because they've had some not so good news with their lead product. And where I work now, we have hired a lot of those folks that have come from that company. I wasn't prepared for this, so you'll have to apologize, but I heard a lot of good things with my predecessors here. Maybe a few other websites that I can throw out there as far as looking for work. Craigslist out of Boston. I don't know if you're familiar with Craigslist, but I mean you can find concert tickets there. But they actually do have there's job listings there. Medzilla.com is another one in the biopharmaceutical industry. Jen mentioned BostonWorks.com, which is a very good site. As far as some of the temping agencies, Aerotech, well, they're a staffing company, but Randstad is another company. They work a lot with my company that I work for. I've been in manufacturing for about 8 years. I've done everything from upstream to downstream. I'm in buffer preparation right now. My company never closes, 24/7. It's a very fast-paced industry. We work long hours, and I often thought that I would like to get a bachelor's degree because I only have an associate, but working these hours, I don't think that I can do it, to be honest with you, just because I'm exhausted when I get home at night. I work 4 10-hour days, so I get 3 days off. But I've worked the 2-3-2 that Jen, I think, works on. I guess I'll just throw it out there. I'd be happy to talk to anybody. Myself, I would take any position that they offered me. I'd get my foot in the door at any company, and once you're there, you can move to different groups, different departments.
Mike, what was the first company that you went to work for?
I worked right over here at Lonzo. And things have changed quite a bit in that company when I started. We had 1 crew. I was like the 10th operator, and they hired two fellows after me. We had 12 ops, and we did everything from media prep, buffer prep, cell culture. At the time, Lonzo only had 1 client, so we had 1 product. And it was a great experience for me because I learned an awful lot. I ended up, and as we grew, then they broke up into separate groups. You know, they had purification, they had cell culture, they had a production support, which was basically glass wash, autoclave, media preparation, and buffer preparation. I ended up doing a lot of cell culture eventually is where I stayed at Lonzo. And worked my way up to a senior op. I'm not even sure if they have those titles anymore. John could probably share that. I started at Lonzo. This is back when they had interns for $8 an hour. I worked as an intern, which was like half of what I was making before I went into school. But by the time I left there, I was a senior op, and I was getting paid almost 3 times that. So there are good wages out there. Some companies are better than others, like any industry. It's a small industry, as you'll see if you're in the field. Because I know people where I work. I know people where Jen works. I know people where John works. So when you're in the industry for a while, it only gets better, because you'll meet people, and hopefully you'll leave them with a good impression. And if they should move on, sometimes they take some of their good people with them. Any questions?
How long, the company you're at now, how long have you been there?
I have been, I took a temp position. I temped for a year, but that was out in Framingham, and now I work in Alston. So I temped for a year, and now I'm permanent for a year. 2 different facilities. I worked in purification in Framingham, and now in Boston. Like I said, I'm in production support, and I make buffers. Lots of them. Yes.
Did you find it more difficult to get a job that you wanted, where you had the associates bringing up that?
Yes, because the jobs that I want, having been in the field, yes. The fact that I don't have a bachelor's, I think hurts me. Yeah, I've got 8+ years experience. In some positions, like Jen mentioned, with the associate in years of service in the field, sometimes you can snag a job, but there's an awful lot of competition out there. I think so, yeah. I mean, I'm doing okay, but I feel like I'm underachieving a little bit at the moment. So maybe I will have to go to school some more.
I'm not going to like, how long have you been with the company that you're with now?
Well, on a permanent basis, a year. But I temped for a year. And that's one thing that I'm seeing more and more of. Companies will go the temp route, kind of try before you buy. But I wouldn't get discouraged by it. Yeah, you don't get any benefits, but they do pay pretty well. But, I mean, they could tell you, what's today, Wednesday, they could tell you Friday, I'm sorry, we don't need your services anymore. That's the only downer with a temp, Things change overnight sometimes in this business. It was a change of careers for me. I got laid off from the Portsmouth Naval Shipyard in '94, and I did a little career searching, and biotech was a thing of the future. And I look back 10, 12 years now, and I think I made a good choice. I'm sure the program has changed. I was just looking at the little brochure. Looks like the program has changed for the better which is good for you folks. I'm sure Sonia's done a nice job. I'd like to see the lab sometime.
Right, yeah. We owe you a tour since we sent you to the wrong building the first time.
How long have you been here?
2002. We moved 1 year after the rest of the folks moved over. So we were actually in that lab without any support, no computer, no phone, no nothing for a whole year.
Yeah.
Wait to see what we got here. Ooh.
Mike, when you made the change, how did you, the term we used with Carl a few times regarding his resume was, were you carpet bombing, just blasting your resume out there all over the place? Were you kind of selective or monster?
Well, in between biotech jobs, I would send it to anything that I thought I was qualified for. I would send it to small company, large company, and I basically stuck to New England because I have ties here in New Hampshire, so I just can't, take off to North Carolina or out to California. But unfortunately, New Hampshire, there's the old Stryker now across the way. It used to be Creative Biomolecule. There's Stryker and there's Lonza. There's two places, two biotech companies in the state of New Hampshire that I know of. Perhaps as far as maybe the bigger employers, maybe there's some smaller places. So I took my game to Massachusetts. There's a lot more opportunity there, but I realize not everybody can do that.
But it seems like it's not too bad if you're on a flexible schedule or flex hours. It seems like if you've got to commute and work 8 till 5, you're going to get 495 or 495 traffic. But do you go in extra early? Like, what's your...
Well, I rent a place in Framingham, so I live in... When I'm working, I stay in Framingham, which is 18 miles into Boston. And like my last day of the week, I come home because I have a home in Newmarket. So that's 65 miles from door to door. So that takes you about an hour and a half. Trying to get out of Boston at 5:30 is no picnic. Doing it the way I'm doing it, like tomorrow I'll go to work. I'll leave at about 5:30. I'll be there for 7 in Boston. But I couldn't, if I had to do that every day from up here, I couldn't do it.
Keep going that right into Boston. I think we should take that right into where you work.
Yep.
We were visiting it on Friday.
Oh, are you?
Well, Mike, you can give us a tour.
Friday, I'll be there. If you're talking about Genzyme, I'll be there. Is your class coming to Genzyme?
Yes, we'll be there at 1:30. Do you know Ellen Ritter?
Yeah, yeah.
She's the one that set it up. She's one of them.
It's that building was designed for tours and students, so I think you'll find it very interesting.
That's why we always go there.
It's 5 floors, production supporters on top, and so one side of the house is upstream, the other side of the house is downstream. So, I mean, when you do your transfers, you have high pressure air, of course, but you also have gravity on your side too. I believe that building was built in '94, so it's 11 years old now. And the equipment gets used every day, so things wear out, But luckily, they have the money where they can fix things. And I've worked at other companies where they just put Band-Aids on things, and it can be a little frustrating from an operator's standpoint.
I have a key question. As an employee, do you have stock options?
They give you stock options. It's kind of like a yearly review thing. You show up, do your job. They will give you anywhere from $100 to $200 longer. Depends on your level and where you're at. They have employee stock purchasing plans where you can buy stock at 15% discount. So Genzyme, I believe, is trading around 75 at the moment. So I pay roughly 50 or 50s, so there's some instant profit.
So is that something like you sign up for the program, it's deducted automatically?
Yeah, it comes out of your paycheck. You decide what percent, and they have a great 401 program. They match the first 5%, up to a total of 18%. You can have 18 withdrawn from your pay. It's a great company. I'm real happy.